Melody Maddox wrapping up a news conference there about the escape involving 3 inmates, not answering that final question shouted at her. Will any of our jailers be held responsible for this escape? Anybody placed on administrative leave? If they are, we don't know right now. In fact, there are a lot more questions than answers after that 20-minute news conference or so involving the sheriff. The majority of those questions, though, being answered by her chief deputy. 3 inmates who escaped on Sunday night now back in custody. They were captured in the Metro Miami area, making their way from DeKalb County, Georgia to Miami with the help of several different people along the way. We learned that one of those inmates, Stevenson Charles, who you see on the left-hand side of your screen, called somebody from inside jail and effectively said, "We plan to make this escape. Pick us up outside the jail." According to those officials, they were picked up by a gentleman and then taken to Mr. Minor's girlfriend's house. Mr. Minor, Yusuf Minor, the man there in the middle. And then they made their way to Miami, Florida at some point. According to the officials speaking, it sounded like a Lyft driver had taken them, and there might be some kidnapping charges that are going to be tacked on. Additional charges forthcoming, as you can imagine, after this escape for all 3 gentlemen. The sheriff at one point saying, "This was a breach. We are not going to place blame." She mentioned the aging infrastructure of that facility and really left it open to interpretation as to how these 3 were able to escape the DeKalb County Jail. They said that the infrastructure was compromised. This is a massive facility, as you see here. It was first construction started back in 1991. It was finished in 1993. There you see some of the U.S. Marshals and other folks searching for the inmates through the woods yesterday, though it would be miles and miles away in another state where they were finally found. But there's the facility there. The sheriff saying they're asking me to make bricks out of straws. Well, 3 people escaped from that brick facility yesterday, Sunday rather, and were recaptured yesterday. And a lot of questions remain as to how that was able to happen. We do know that officials say they repaired the area that was compromised. Again, we don't know exactly how it was compromised, what kind of tools were used, if this was 1 cell, if this was 3 cells. And we also don't know whether anybody's going to be held accountable at the jail. The sheriff saying, again, quote, "not going to place blame." But it did sound like in that news conference she was setting the stage to perhaps ask the county for a new jail or money for some new improvements there at a facility that is 30 years old. We are following this story throughout the day here on 11 Alive Plus and on 11alive.com. We have more questions, as we're sure you do as well. But the bottom line from that news conference today, the 3 inmates now back in custody after being recaptured in the Metro Miami area, though how they first escaped from the DeKalb County Jail and were able to go undetected for hours still remains unclear. Reporting live from the 11 Alive Streaming Center, I'm Dan Kennedy.